all going to do? I'm going to have to go live with someone else. I cried. I know Emmerdale was so sad, wasn't it? Poor Liv. I did not expect that. I really did not expect that. That was horrible. Like, if she was going to die anyway, why didn't they just, like, get the caravan off her and, like, do what they could do? That's going to absolutely break Aaron. Did you know Aaron, Danny Miller, when I did my bodybuilding show years ago, 2009, I was doing a bodybuilding show, and afterwards I was in a nightclub where I live, and I was actually out with Danny Miller and Kevin Fletcher. And I need to find the picture because Kevin Fletcher, who played Andy in Emmerdale, he took his top off and he was ripped, and then Danny come and ripped my top off, and I was absolutely shredded at that point. But you know what, that was an absolute mad night, that was. And now they've both got kids. It's mad. Yeah, Kevin looks good. But do you know what, that particular night, I looked absolutely awesome. I just done my bodybuilding show. Yeah, Danny's lovely. He was walking around the nightclub telling people that I'm going to be in Emmerdale. It was so funny. But it's weird how he's came back, because he left, didn't he? But yeah, he obviously decided to come back. Unless he's only come back for this scene, then I think he's going to go. Oh, thank you for the heart, Julie. Yeah, Danny's a nice guy. Night, Peter. Good night, darling. Have a good day tomorrow. Do you know what? I reckon I need to come down a bit later and put some milk in. I reckon I should just let them sleep now. Oh, I think that's going to have a face like its dad, that one. If I start cleaning all this up now, they're going to go nuts and they're all going to wake up. Oh, I'm getting tired. Anyone who's not dropped me a follow, drop me a follow. God, we've got a lot of likes tonight. 18k. Are they going to be full of muscle? Like, yeah, they're going to be full of muscle. Definitely, 100%. 100%. See, it's so much better now. Change that white panel up to that. How much better is that? Like, most people just think, fuck it, I ain't spending that money to change the panel, but I wanted to change it. I've been smashing the like button. Shannon, you're a sweetheart, thank you. Right, hey, shush. I'm sure that green one's going to have a face like its dad. Where are you from, Shannon? I wonder if you're a long way from me. Why don't some of you in here tell me what you do for a living? Tell me what you do for a job. Just from outside Leeds. Shannon, I was in Leeds last week. I go to Leeds a lot. I'm actually looking at doing a big apartment to put on booking.com in Leeds. But it's literally going to have about 4 double beds in one room. Then it's going to have like 8 makeup stations. It's going to have a little mini bar in there. I'm just trying to find the right premises, and I'm going to rent it out for girls when they have like weekends away and hen do's and stuff like that. So I'm looking for a premises in Leeds. Healthcare assistant. Oh, nice. That's a good job, Donna. Yeah, we are selling them. Girls 4,000, girls 5, boys 4,000. I make wax melts at Home Fragrances. Nice. Foster care. Yeah, my sister does a bit of foster care. I'm only in year 11 and I don't work yet, but still looking. I was working from the age of 10, cutting people's grass, everything. Oh wow, let me know if you need anyone to manage it and sort cleaning, etc. Shannon, I'll definitely let you know. Midwife. That's a good job, midwife. So you see lots, do you see lots of babies being born, Junie? Yeah, boys are 4,000, girls are 5. Makeup artist and beautician, nice. I'm my dad's carer. Debs, that's really nice, that. I'm a full-time carer for my son with special need with lots of problems and epilepsy. Katie, do you know what? I feel for you, darling. My sister's son, he's a bit, what is it? When you're hypo, ADHD, or he's not autistic. Yeah, he's got that thing and he's just like, he's so bloody clever, but it's like he's all the time, mummy, mummy, mummy. He's full on 24 hours a day. And my sister, do you know what? I don't know how she copes, bless her. She's absolutely amazing with him, but she must be so tired. But his bedroom, he puts all his music in alphabetical order, his books. There's not a thing out of line in his bedroom. Yeah, I see lots of babies. How was it? Nice. On the labour ward, also in the theatre. Bloody hell. I'm mental health support worker. Feel like I'm needing the support. They're pocket micro bullies. No problem. I'm a manager for a care company. It's where my heart is. Do you know what? I've always said I would love to open a care home. I used to be a plumber years ago, and I had this big contract at an old people's home, and they literally, they had a load of flats and houses, apartments on site as well, which they charge over the odds for. And this lady said, excuse me, love. I'm like, yeah. She's like, would you go to the shop and get me some shopping? I'm like, don't your carers do that for you? And do you know what she said to me? She said, they go for her and they buy the cheapest brand food and they keep her change. And do you know what? I went over and I got loads of food. I'm just going to plug my phone in quickly. So I got her all the branded food, what she wanted. And do you know what? She was so happy with it. And I always said, that is one thing I would love to do. It's like during COVID, my kid's great nan passed away, and it was absolutely horrible because they weren't even allowed to see her. Then 2 days before, they was allowed to stand outside at a window, and my daughter said to the carer, yeah, you know, I'm not saying before anybody jumps on it, there's some fantastic carers out there, but there's also some people what shouldn't be carers, because my daughter said, where's my nan's glasses? And the carer said, your nan doesn't wear glasses. So she'd been in that care home all through over Christmas and everything and didn't even have her glasses on. So all you good carers out there, big up to you lot. Loving the new panels, yeah, they look good. Yeah, I'd love to open a massive care home. I didn't need to dismiss staff and have police involved for this. Yeah, Shallon, you're right, it's absolutely horrible. Horrible. We need all the lovely carers, the sort of people what like are that close to their own nan. It's very underpaid, but so rewarding. Yeah, I agree, Laura. I wouldn't want somebody bloody caring for me like that. My son is 12, has mental age of 2-year-old. Don't speak, he has, oh my God, ADHD and don't sleep. Katie, you must be so tired, darling. Yeah, the pups are getting big. I've never seen a care home with swimming pools. Do you know what? Do you know what? Do you know what? If I won the lottery, yeah, can you imagine building a massive care home and literally, right, having swimming pool in there, having saunas, having stuff like that, and actually having people taking them in? They'd love it, wouldn't they? They'd absolutely love it. And do you know what? Staying in these care homes, it ain't cheap. They charge you an absolute fortune. At Donna, mate, we had special gem protection unit. So they had visits throughout, right. I have clients who don't have families, so I'll go round with birthday. Oh, Shannon, that's so nice. Could you imagine the hydro phone? Oh God, they would benefit from it, definitely. Definitely. They charge them far too much, and staff who do their care don't get paid enough. Yeah. Greed. I don't know. I always think though, privately owned companies are generally a lot better than big ones. But yeah, if I won the lottery, that's what I'd do. I would open some old people homes. And that's what I'd do. And it would be the best care home in the world, I promise you. I'd have loads of puppies like this for him to play with. I'm a resident in a care home. I am bedridden. The carers here are wonderful. Jill, are you in a care home now, darling? Do you know what? I'm so happy that you say you've got wonderful carers there. My daughter went into hospital and she had to have an operation, and do you know what? There was one nurse from Scotland. She was an absolute diamond. People said I couldn't stay with my daughter in hospital, and she said, I'll make you a bed up, lovey, and she let me stay there for 2 days. My daughter is a nurse in a care home. She leaving it because it's been took over, not run properly. See, you get it all the time. You do get it. And do you know what? I would fucking love to be care home police. That is what I would love to do. Make sure people are doing their jobs properly. Yeah, I'd agree the same. You want a shocker check, Benny House Care Home, Harvard's pricey, yeah. $9.50 an hour, it's crap, innit? No healthcare professional get paid anywhere near enough. But do you know what? Regardless of the pay rate, you will get some people who get paid pittance, but they actually do an amazing job. It's like when they did all this COVID, forcing people to have the vaccine. It's so wrong, innit? The issue with care is management. I go around ensuring staff are providing. Yeah, do you know what, Shannon? You're exactly right. It's the management where the problem is. It's down to them to make sure their care home is run properly. They're obviously not doing the checks. They just want an easy life. Shelby, hiya. You just fit CCTV camera in every room, yeah. It's a shame that it's got to come to that, isn't it? You know, if you've got one of your family members in a care home and you're paying like, I don't know, somebody on here tell me a price. What's it cost a month to put somebody in a care home? What, $3,000? $2,000-3,000? I've still not had the vaccine. I've not had any of the vaccines. You have to be a certain type of carer to care correctly, exactly. There's only, yeah, 3K at least. $3,000 upwards. $3,000 a month. That is robbery. 4 or 5 grand a month, maybe more. 4K in my home, bloody hell. £1,000 a week to 1,500. Fuck. That is mental. And you think how many people are in these care homes? I get my fish and chips. Oh, I get my fish and chips every Friday. There's fun. Oh, that is so nice. Pay 1k a week for a £10 a day food budget. Really? What, each person's got £10 a day budget for food? Do you know what? Literally, if I opened a care home, I swear to God, I would have cooks in there like when you go on an all-inclusive hotel. I would. My dad was £5 for doing it. Luckily, he didn't have to pay because £5. We don't get travel time either. It's mad, isn't it? Our shit nurses get paid, carers get paid, but then people in politics get a fortune, get a free house, get all the meals paid for. And these are all the twats what try and run our business, our country. The problem is rich people are all in charge. Put all those people on 30 grand a year, see how the country's run then. It'll be totally different. 3,800 my husband, dad is paying. Well, I should say his house is paying for it. Wow. Told you heard 8k. That is mental. Mental prices. They work all their life, go into home and have to pay for it. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? That is mad. They got to sell the house to pay for it. I couldn't do that to one of my parents, I'm sorry. And do you know what? As mad as it sounds, like, you could just sell your parents' house, couldn't you? And you could build a big annex on the side of your house and you could put your family in your house. It makes no sense whatsoever. Catherine Butfield, this is what we're worried about. If my nan goes into home, it's so wrong. It's horrible. Do you know what, Debs? They're better off in prison. You're right. You're exactly right. And do you know what? I read something. Oh, when was it? I read something in the paper about some old guy did some crime. And it was actually because he wanted to go to prison instead of a care home. So he actually went out and did some crime, so he went to prison. Like me, you get an Xbox in prison. Xbox, all those meals a day, mad. In Latin mortgage means death grip. Some of them just slop thrown. Yeah, slop thrown on a plate, exactly. And do you know what? It's like hospital food, yeah? The nurse was telling me that the hospital food, it all comes in already pre-cooked, all of it, and they just bang it in the microwave. We give love and care of everybody day. Any advice to anyone is to put your assets into a trust so the government can't. Exactly, the government are thieving scum. Don't get me started on the government. Do you know what? Why do we... It's like when you die, you got to pay inheritance tax now, your kids, on your money. So how many times are you taxed on your money? You're taxed on your wages, you're taxed on your savings, yeah? You're taxed on some of your pension, and then your kids are taxed on your money as well. How wrong's that? Why should you pay tax when you're paying tax on everything what you buy when you go out? The government are just thieves, they're all nicking money. They even have their own landline phones in prison now. Really? No. They have their own phones in prison. Are you sure, Kitty? I've never heard of that. That's mad if they got their own phone. That is mad. Love you, mate. Tax on everything. Yeah, fucking tax on everything, mate. Yeah, they do. I know someone. I can't really believe it. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. It's mad, innit? But apparently that Liz Trust, apparently she's going to be out in a couple of weeks or next week. Yes, they do. They have in each individual rooms. That is mad. I cut my hours at work from being a carer to become grandma's full terror. Oh, do you know what, Chloe? That is so beautiful what you've done there. That is so beautiful. Look at them all cuddled to Smarty, Trudy. They're all cuddled, darling. Look at them all. My dad's 84 in November, paid tax all his life, still paying it now, and not allowed phones. What, they're not allowed a phone in a care home? They have their mobile. Turn on this. I'm a financial advisor and do my best to ensure people keep hold of their hard-earned money. Victoria Jones, well done. Yeah, honestly, my friend Hubby is in prison. They just cut it off at certain times. I don't think this government will last long. It won't. My dad rang me yesterday, and my dad reckons Liz Truss will be voted out. And I was in London yesterday, and a taxi driver gets a lot of the MPs in his taxi, and he said as well she's going to be voted out. She tried to cut the 45% tax, didn't she? Which makes sense, because then the big people what earn big money, they've got more money to invest, they've got more money to pay their staff. You think they're taking 45p of your quid? It's mad, isn't it? Can I see? Yeah, my phone's on charge at the minute, I can't really move, but there's Ghost there, red collar. Good evening. No, they have landline phones. Do you know what? They could make this country so much better, couldn't they? Get rid of VAT. I own gyms, yeah? When we went through COVID, they dropped the VAT, I think, to 2% in pubs. And gyms had to pay 20% VAT. How's that? So you can go in a pub, drink some alcohol, eat some shit food, pay 2% VAT, then you go to a gym and you got to pay 20% VAT to get yourself healthy. It's back to fun. I'd love to be in Parliament, I would. I'd love it. Government cutbacks, closed, special needs pacing. That Cloven's so true, I'm a manager. Look at Prada, look, she's just over there, look. Look at Mama. She's fast asleep, look at her. Do the puppies sleep all night? Yes, they do. They wouldn't have the people like us in Parliament because we aren't sheep. Do you know what, Shannon? The problem is it's all rich people what run this country. And did you know that if an MP, so like when Boris Johnson was Prime Minister, when he loses his job and he's like in the background doing a different job, did you know they keep the same wages? And the problem is, they're all paid too much. If you put all the MPs on 30 grand a year, do you think this country would still be run the same if they was on £30,000 a year? Mum is absolutely beautiful, thank you. Yeah, she's loving the piece. Hiya. Beautiful baby girl. Oh, look at that one, look. There's a couple what's moving around. No, they'd be on strike, they would. It's like these fucking train drivers going on strike because they've got to do something like an extra 2 hours a week. Do you know what? I actually looked at a train driver's job. It was working 3 nights a week on the freight. And it was something like 64 grand a year for pushing a lever forward and backward. These train drivers get paid a fortune, and because they've got to do an extra 2 hours or 3 hours, this is what a woman told me, they're all going on strike. When they're already paid about 60 grand a year for working 3 days a week. The trouble is they couldn't run a kids' tea party, yeah. Average 74 grand, yeah. Train drivers get paid an absolute fortune. just for pushing a lever forward and backward. Yeah, there's a lot of training. I looked into it. You got to learn all the corners, the speeds. You got to learn the whole maps. It's a good job. They get a good pension as well. It's a really good job. My mate does a run to Glasgow, and he'll literally drive the train to Glasgow, sleep there in a fucking 5-star hotel, then do the next drive back the next day. I'd like to be a train driver, actually. They admit they don't have to work hard. I really got to clean that up in a minute. That is not poo. If everybody thinks it's poo, it's not. It's biscuits. It's wet biscuits. I'm heading to bed now. Your lives make my night. Good night, mate. I will see you tomorrow. Did you hear what King said about Liz? No. What's he say? Tell me, Katie. What did the King say? She'll be out in a few weeks. She's useless. Do you know what? Boris was all right, but what he did when other people weren't allowed to see the dying families and weren't allowed to go to weddings and funerals and stuff like that, and he's partying, it was wrong. I'll show you Smarty in a minute. There's Smarty there, look. My phone's on charge because it's going to go off. But that is Smarty. And there's Mama. Look. Mummy's fast asleep, look.